Hello, students. Welcome to CAD 241. This is the supplementary video for Module 1. This video is primarily just for extra practice, so you do not have to watch it, but I encourage you to watch it because I think it will be beneficial to you. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and start showing you how to create a solid model in Inventor. So I'm going to go over here, and right now I'm using 2021. Mr. Morris does have 2023. My wife just bought me a new computer for Christmas, a desktop, and she has installed 2023 on there. So I will be using 2023 at some point, but there are very subtle changes between 2021, 2022, and 2023. So if you have 2021, you're going to do fine. Just like somebody with 2023, you're going to do fine. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and double click on Autodesk Inventor Professional 2021. And let's see, I'm kind of studying my drawing here. Again, you do not have to create this. I want you to watch it. But if you want to create it, that would be good. It'd be extra practice. It's taking a minute for it to come up. It's taking a little bit longer than normal, but hopefully it will start up here in a second. There we go. I needed to warm up. It's early in the morning here. It is, by the way, January the 7th, 2023 at 10:36 a.m. So when you first open up Inventor, this is what your screen is going to look like. What I want you to do is go up here to where it says New, click down on New and select New. Now, when you do that, this dialog box is going to come up that says Create New File. Now, if you're going to work with English units, you select English, or metric, you select metric. Don't worry about mold design right now. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But go ahead. For this particular problem, it's kind of unique for me to do a metric problem this early in the semester, but I'm going to select metric. I think the first problem I did for you is an English problem, so that's your homework assignment. This is the bracket. But so I select metric here, and I'm going to come over here and see where it says standard millimeter IPT. Well, IPT in Inventor stands for Inventor Part File. We're going to create a part. So we want to click on metric and come over here and select standard millimeter IPT, and then come down here in the lower right hand corner and select create. Now our screen is going to update here. And again, my computer is really slow right now. All right, so the very first thing that you want to do in Inventor is you need to create a sketch before you can create a 3D model. And in order to do that, up here in the top left-hand corner, you're going to select Start 2D Sketch, and then you have to select it again. So you click here, and then you click Start 2D Sketch. So you click it twice. And we're going to have, again, my computer is moving very slow today. I apologize for that. All right, so there we go. I had to do it twice. There's something wrong with my computer right now, but I'm going to go ahead. A lot of time, you can click a plane. If you hover here with your mouse or your cursor, you'll see that's the XY plane. If you hover on this one here, this is the YZ plane. If you hover here, this is the XZ plane. It's kind of hard to see, but it's right there. This is the XZ plane. Now, so this is the front plane. So the front view, if you will. This is the top, and this is the side view plane. I always like to select, in most cases, 90% of the time, Mr. Morris is going to select the XY plane. All right, now, what you see here is the y-axis, vertical is the y-axis, and this line here is the horizontal axis. And if you get confused or forget, come over here and look at the 3D icon here. You see the red is arrow is x-axis, is pointing in the positive x direction. The green arrow here is pointing in the positive y direction. And the blue arrow is coming out from the screen towards us. That is the positive z-axis, okay? Now, what I want to do first is we're going to make a very simple model here. And what I want you to do is go up here to where it says rectangle. So click on rectangle and then come down to where it says rectangle 2-point center. So I'm going to click on that and I'm going to come over here to the origin, and you see as I move my cursor near the origin, right, that's x0, y0, you see it turns green. As soon as it turns green, click with your left mouse button and just drag your mouse out a little bit. Now don't type in anything yet. I didn't click either. I just dragged it out. I didn't click the mouse or nothing. I just dragged it out. And you can see there's 2 dimensions. My dimensions would be different than yours, right? Until we do this. Right now you can see I have 62.140 millimeters in blue, right? I need to update that dimension, and for this particular part, I'm going to type in 60 right here, and then I'm going to hit the tab button. When I hit the tab button, look what it does. It goes over to the vertical dimension, and I'm going to make this 35 millimeters and enter. All right, now, so there, see, it's automatically updated. This is 60 millimeters. This is 35 millimeters. Do a right click with your mouse, right click, select the OK button. Now, this is a simple sketch that we have created. It's a closed profile. There's no openings. It's a rectangle. There's no openings. I'm going to select finish the sketch right here. All right. Now, if you rotate your scroll wheel on your mouse, you can zoom in and out. All right. If you rotate your scroll wheel, you can zoom in and out. If you hold down the scroll wheel, hold it down and move your mouse around, you can pan. Okay. One more time. Rotate your scroll wheel, zoom in and out. Hold the scroll wheel down, move your mouse, and you can pan around. All right, now this particular part that we're making has a depth of 30 millimeters. So I'm going to go to extrude, and you see it automatically selects that profile, but you notice the arrow is coming out in the positive Z direction. I want to switch the direction, so you come over here, see these arrows, that's the default direction. I want to go in the other direction, click here. And it's asking for a distance. The distance is the thickness, and I said we want to make that 30 millimeters, okay? So 30 millimeters, select OK. All right, congratulations, you have created your first, perhaps your first, I don't know, you may have used this software before, your first 3D part here. Up here in the top right-hand corner, you have something called a view cube. And this allows you to look at different views of your part. If you click here where it says front, click here. See, it says front. You can click on these arrows right here to look at different views of your part. So that's the front. You can click here. That's the top. That's the back. That's the bottom. That's the front again. You can rotate here with these arrows. Rotate. I'm going counterclockwise. I can rotate this, select this arrow and rotate clockwise, right? Now, if you want to get an isometric view, which I'll show you, if you click on this little corner right here, this is the isometric view. And some of y'all may or may not know what isometric view is. You will learn that in CAD 151, but basically it's a view that looks very much like what you see here. It gives the impression of being it is a 3D part. But in a two-dimensional CAD software package, if you do isometric view, it's really still a two-dimensional drawing that gives you the impression that it's a 3D, but it's more of a picture. So isometric is more of a picture of what the part truly looks like. And again, you can click on these corners right here. See, just click on the corners. I can click on the bottom corners. And this is another way. You'll learn of several ways to maneuver your views. Okay, back to the front, and then we'll get back in the isometric. All right, so that's another way to maneuver your part. Later on, I'll show you this dynamic view here. It's called free orbit. I'll go ahead and show you now. If you click on free orbit, you'll see this circle come up, and you see the circle is divided into 4 quadrants. Notice the vertical here, lines, and the horizontal. If I hold down my left mouse button and just move it straight across, right? Or I get on put my mouse on the vertical line and hold down the left mouse button and go up and down. That's another way to maneuver your view. But I don't always, and now to cut it off, you have to come back over here and select the icon again. Okay, that cuts it off. So it's toggle on, toggle off. I'm going to come back up here, and I want to get back into my front view isometric. You can also sketch on this part, and which we're going to do now. We are going to go to Start 2D Sketch, Start 2D Sketch, and we're going to click on this face. Now, Mr. Morris likes to sketch in the isometric view. However, you might prefer sketching in the front view. Okay, but I'm going to do it in isometric because I can see it better. I'm going to draw, I see I'm doing my math here in my head, so that's going to be 35 by 25. So I'm going to come here. I'm going to go to rectangle. This time I'm going to do 2-point rectangle. And watch this. I'm going to move my mouse right there to that corner. See it turning green? Click. And I'm going to drag a rectangle like this. Notice I haven't clicked again. I just clicked one time because I want to enter the dimensions here. So the dimension that you see in blue, which is the horizontal dimension, I'm going to type in 35. And then I'm going to hit the tab button. And then I'm going to type in a dimension of 25. All right, so and hit enter. So you see my dimensions. I'm going to do a right click, okay. But see my dimensions here, 35 and 25. This is what we're going to subtract. So we have finished our sketch. Now let's say you messed up a dimension. Say this, you typed in a different dimension here. You can double click on that and you can edit the dimension. I'll change the dimension to show you. I'll make it 40 and then enter and see it updates, right? but I'm going to double click on that because that's not what I want. Change it to 35. And you can hit either the enter button or select the green check mark. Okay, now we have finished our sketch for right now. All right, we have finished our sketch. It's 25 by 35, so go up here and select finish sketch. Now go to extrude, and what that does, it takes your last profile that you've drawn and it's going to give it some depth. Well, I don't want to add material. If I enter here, it's going to add this material to the part, which I don't want to do. I actually want to subtract this material. So I'm going to select the flipped, see the direction. Remember, this is the default direction. I want to flip it. And when I do, look, it's going to cut that section away. And we're actually doing what they call Boolean algebra here. We're adding or subtracting solids. See, it says cut. That's the default when you do that already. But you make sure that's selected and select OK. All right. Now that's what our part looks like so far. Okay. So now we're going to create another sketch. We have two more things. Actually, yeah, we have two more things that we have to do to this part before we start making our drawing. This is not a drawing here. This is the model. This is the 3D model, and we're going to make a drawing. So we're going to go to Start 2D Sketch, Start 2D Sketch, and I'm going to click on this face right here. All right, now what I want you to do is I want you to go to go to rectangle, come down here where it says 2-point rectangle. Now watch very carefully. I'm actually going to come off the part here to show you can do this. Come off of the part right here, click, and I'm just going to drag a rectangle like this. Click, do a right click, OK. Mr. Morris, you didn't add no dimensions. Look, I'm going to do that again. Watch. Here's my undo button right here. That's good to know where that's at in case you mess up. Undo. Go to rectangle, 2-point rectangle. I'm going to click and drag a rectangle, click, do a right click. OK, Mr. Morris, you weren't concerned about the dimensions that time. That's right, I wasn't. Let me show you what I'm going to do here. I need to figure out what this dimension is here. It looks like it's going to be. All right, so from here, click on this dimension icon, select this edge, and drag. You're going to move your mouse. You're going to drag out a dimension here. Hit the left mouse button. Do a right click, OK. We'll do that again, undo, go to dimension, click here, and we're going to just click. Now we have to edit that dimension. Double click on it, and we're going to change this. Mr. Morris needs to change that to 5 millimeters. Select the green check mark. Okay, so that's 5 millimeters. Now I have another dimension I want to place. Notice, there's part of this rectangle is hanging off the part. I don't care about that because I can do this. I'm going to click right here. Oops. By the way, you can also hit your escape button if you mess up, which I just did. We'll go to dimension. I'm going to click right here, and I'm going to click right here, and I'm going to drag a dimension. Click with the left mouse button, and then I'm going to double click with the left mouse button. It allows me to edit the dimension, and I'm going to make this equal to 5 as well. All right, but we still need to know what this dimension needs to be, the vertical. So I have this dimension here, and I have this one. I need one more dimension to add here. I just click on the line. Notice that. I click on the dimension and just click on the line here. Click with your left mouse button. Double click with the left mouse button. And we're going to make this equal to 10 millimeters. Select the green check mark. There you go. I'm happy as cheesecake there. I got all my dimensions like it needs to be here. I can zoom in and out with my scroll wheel on the mouse. Select Finish Sketch. Okay, so Mr. Morris, you got part of that hanging off the side. That's okay. Watch what's going to happen here. I want to extrude that. Now, because I got part hanging off, I'm going to have to select this and this. Inside, I had to select because it wasn't quite sure, right? So I had to select. I'll undo that and do it again. Go to Extrude. I'm going to select this part and this part. Now, I'm going to move it. I'm going to flip the arrow in opposite direction, and it needs to be at least 30 millimeters. Excuse me. All right, I'm zooming out and panning. I can see that it's gone all the way through like I want it to. All right, so I'm just going to select OK here. Now we have one more thing we need to do. We need, for this particular model here, we're going to put a hole here. So start 2D sketch, click on this surface. All right, now we're going to go up here to where it says circle. This is one way to create a hole. There's other ways that we'll talk about later. Go to circle, center point. Now watch very carefully. I'm just going to come here and select the arbitrary location, click, and I'm going to drag out a circle. Well, I know the diameter of the circle is going to be 20 millimeters. So I type in 20, for example, and enter. And then I'm going to do a right click, select OK. Now, we have to find the exact center of this circle. Go to Dimension, and I'm going to select this edge, and I'm going to select this center, and I'm going to drag a dimension off the part, click, and I'm going to double click on this, and we can edit this dimension, and we can make it 15, and then enter. All right, now I'm going to do this one more time. Click on this edge, click on the center of the circle, drag your dimension down, click, double click on this, and you can change this dimension to 15 as well. Select the green check mark. All right, now, so the hole is basically where I want it to be. I think. Yes. So I'm going to come up here to my little view cube. This is called the view cube here. And I'm going to reorient my part. Okay, now this is the way I want to look at it. And finish the sketch, and I'm going to select extrude again. Look, it's adding material if I go this way. It's going to add material. I want to flip the arrow and go through, select OK. Now, we're going to file this, file, save as, and I'm going to call this CAD 241 space supplementary video. Actually, I'm just going to call it CAD 241 supplementary part, because this is, I'm creating the video, but this is the part. See, it's the IPT file extension. See that IPT? That stands for Inventor Part File. And we're going to save this. So we got it saved now, but I want to change the material of this. Right now we have a generic material. This is called your browser over here. This is called your browser. And right up here is your file name. See, it says CAD 241 supplementary part IP. This is your actual file name for this part. If you come up here with your mouse and do a right click on this, see you did a right click on the file name, come down to where it says iProperties and click on that. All right, now this is we want to change the material. So you come over here to where it says this physical tab, click on physical, and we're going to come down to where it's material. It's right now it's generic. We're going to arrow down and we're going to select. You can select any material you want to. I'm just going to select something that's going to stand out pretty good here. I'm going to select mild steel, and I'm going to select apply and then close. Okay, you can see the sheen now, right? See it kind of shines there, right? It looks more like metal or steel. All right, so I want to do a file save. File save. So we have the part saved. Now I want to create a drawing of this part. We're done with the 3D model. But if you give this to someone, say, can you make this? They can't make it unless they know the dimensions of it, right? So we have to create a drawing. So we're going to go to File, select New. Now, last time, we still have to select metric. We chose the part file, but this time, I want you to scroll down, and I want you to find this here, ANSI. ANSI millimeter IDW. ANSI stands for American National Standards Institute. Okay, so it's a standard. It's a standard way of laying out your drawing. We're still using the millimeter units, and we have inventor IDWs, inventor drawing files. I'm going to select this and then select create. All right, it's going to do its thing here. Now, Mr. Morris, what happened to our part? You'll see two tabs down here in the lower corner. All right, if I click here, you'll see the part. If I click on drawing one, you'll see the drawing itself. Well, Mr. Morris does not want to use this size, this sheet size here. This is a size D. I want a size A. We'll be working with size A throughout the whole semester. So what we do is we come over here and we're going to right click on sheet one, right click on over here in the browser, do a right click on sheet one and come down and select edit sheet. I want a size A sheet, and I'm going to select portrait. That's the orientation of the paper. And it's 11 by 8.5. So 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. Select OK. So you can see. And you also see my name down here in the title block. We're going to fix that in just a minute. Now, go to base right here. Select base. And you're going to notice that your part appears. Here's your part. And you can change the orientation of your part just by clicking on the view cube, just like before. Okay, you can change it. All right. You can also come over and change the scale. I'm going to make this just a little bit bigger. Right now it's 1:1. It's full scale. I'm going to see, let's see what 1.25 looks like, :1. Now, if you want to change it after the fact, you move your mouse near the part. There's a red rectangle that appears. Do a right click on that and select Edit View. And maybe we may want to make it 1.5:1. And that looks pretty good, I think. All right, now we got one view of this part here. How do I move this part once I place it on the, as you move your cursor near the part, look, the red rectangle appears around the part. It's kind of hard to see. For Mr. Morris it is. You folks with younger eyes can probably make it out better. But if you hold down your left mouse button, you can drag this part anywhere you want to. And this is going to be my front view, so I'm going to place it about right there. Okay. Now, I'm going to come up here. I got my front view. Now watch. Go to Projected. Select Projected. Come over here. You see the red rectangle again. Click. and we're going to drag the part up like this. Do a click, do a right click, create. All right, now the same thing, you can move your mouse near the part, a red rectangle appears, hold down the left mouse button and you can move it around. However, this is still the parent view. It still controls where this is going to move as well. The only thing you can do here is move up and down. You can't move left or right. You can only go up and down here with this one. Because this is the parent view. It controls, so this is the parent, this is the child. It has to do what the parent says, right? So it's going to follow the parent. The only thing it can do is go up and down. Okay. Now we have a right side. So this is the front view. This is the top view. We have to create a right side view over here. Go to projected. And we're going to just go to projected here. We're going to come over here, just like before. We're going to move our mouse near the part. You see a red rectangle appear. I'm going to click, and I'm going to drag it over like this. Left click, right click, create. Notice I did a left click, a right click, and then create. Now, watch this. As I move the parent view, the top view moves with the parent view, and so does the right side view. Now, let's say I want to change the scale of this again. So, well, that might be a little too big. Maybe I want to go back to 1.25 or something of scale. So you come over here to the parent view. The view you place first is your parent view. And I'm going to do a right click and then select edit view right there. And I might change it to 1.25 again. Select OK. All right, see how nicely it updates all the views to be the right scale, the scale that you want it to be. All right, now we're also going to do what they call an isometric view. I'm going to click on projected, and I'm going to come down. Sorry, hit the escape button if that happens. I'm going to click on projected, come down till I move my cursor near the part. In this case, I'm in the front view. See the red rectangle appear? Click, and I'm going to drag my cursor up at the 1 o'clock position. And I'm going to do a left click, right click, create. All right, now maybe I want to move this over some. So I'm just going to drag this part, move it over. So you can practice moving the views around some. Maybe just a little bit more. All right, now remember I gave, we made this a certain material. We made it mild steel. If you want to shade this, move your cursor near your part. You'll see the red rectangle appear. Do a right click, edit the view, and right here where it says style, you can come down and I want you to find shaded. Click on shaded and then select OK, and now your part is shaded. All right. Now we have to place some, we have to annotate our drawing. We have to add dimensions and center lines and things like this. So we're going to go up here to annotate. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here where it says a center mark, click on the center mark, and I'm going to click on the edge of this circle, and it puts a center line in there, a center mark where the exact center of the circle is at. Okay, I'm going to do a right click, OK. In the front view, we have to also put, there's your hole. See that hidden line? This is a hidden line, which represents the hole that goes through. You can't see the hole from the front view. Therefore, the hidden line represents the edges of the hole. So I'm going to go to this one, centerline bisector. Click on that. I'm going to click on this line, and it's going to put a center line in there. Look, I'm scrolling in, zooming in. See the center line? Zoom, I'm panning now. I'm going to do the same thing here. Click these two parallel lines, and it puts that's the exact center of your hole. I'm going to zoom in some. I'm going to do a right click. Now there's no, you can just hit escape here at this point. There was no OK button, so you hit escape. Now I'm going to put some, there's a few dimensions I want to put in here. So I'm going to go to dimension. And I'm going to zoom in here. And I'm going to click here and here. Now notice how it puts the dimension on this side here. I can move that. I'm going to show you how I'm going to click and just select OK. Do a right click, OK. Now watch, if I hold down, if I hover over the dimension with my mouse, it turns red. Hold down the left mouse button and I can drag it over like this. All right, that's that dimension there. I'm going to click here and here. I'm going to go ahead and leave it at 2 decimal places for right now. Because I'm not worried about that right now. Later on we'll be worried about that. So I'm just clicking dimension, and you can zoom out and pan while you're in this mode. This is the overall dimension right here. Okay. That's the diameter of the circle. This is what the diameter symbol looks like right there. Now, if I want to edit, we'll get some practice. If I want to edit this dimension right here and make it a 2-place, or no dimensions, or excuse me, no decimal places. I'm sorry, Mr. Morris messing up. Select OK. See how it got rid of the decimal places? We're going to do it again. Double click here. Go to precision and tolerance. See, this is a tab it defaults to. Go to precision and tolerance tab, and we're going to make it no decimal places here, and then no decimal places here. Select OK. Same thing here. No decimal places, no decimal places. OK. I'm going to do it for all these dimensions here. Now you can set this as a default, so you won't have to do this every time, but I'll show you how to do that later. All right, I got to place some more dimensions right here. Do a right click, okay. Now I've got the top view dimension. Now if things start to get crowded, you can always move the view around a little bit. Okay, you can always move it around some. All right, now I'm going to dimension the front view here. I'm going to put a dimension right here. You put the smaller dimensions closer to the part. Okay. Now I'm going to, again, make it 0 decimal places. And I'm also going to hold down the left mouse button and drag this down here like this. Okay. Then I'm going to put a dimension here to here. Now see how that's kind of coming off the page a little bit. We're going to show you how to fix that. Do a right click, OK. Look, just move the view over some. See, I just moved the whole thing over. You can also hold your left mouse button on the dimension and you can drag it around some to reposition your dimension. Okay. I'm going to put a dimension here. All right, and I'm going to put a dimension right here. Right click OK. And let's see, I'm going to add one more dimension here. And there's other ways to dimension this part. This is probably not the most ideal way of doing it. This is the way, the textbook that I'm using right now to do this. The exam. This is not in your textbook, so no need to worry about this. All right, so there you go. Now I'm going to put the labels. It's very important to get in the habit of labeling the views. So I'm going to text. Underneath, see, I clicked on text here. Underneath the view, come down here and click. And I'm going to type in all capital letters. This is not the front view, this is top. Should be all capital letters. And just like in Word, I'm going to hold down the left mouse button. I'm going to highlight this, make it bold, underline, select OK, do a right click, OK. All right. Now I'm going to do a right click, copy on this, come down below this view, do a right click, paste. Here's paste. Paste here. Yes, I see that it says top view every time. All right. So we're gonna edit these labels. So double click on this, and we're gonna call this the front. All capital letters, please. Double click on this one. We're gonna call this the right side. I abbreviate this as RS view, the right side view, and right here, isometric. I just type in ISO. All right, it's looking good, folks. We're going to file, save this. Save. All right, now we need to work on our title block. How do we fix this here? So you go over here to your browser. This is your browser. This is your file. This is your drawing file. We're going to right click on this, come down to iProperties, and we're going to slowly fill out our title block. Click on Summary. The title of this is Step Block. All capital letters, Step Block. And then the subject is CAD 241. Now, for the author, this is you. You type in your last name, all capital letters. The manager is Mr. Morris, all capital letters. And the company is Virginia Peninsula Community College. All right, now you see this line. Anything you put below this line is not going to show up on your title block. However, it is some extra notes that might be helpful to you. You know, extra information that might be helpful to you that's related to the drawing. Go to project next. You see where it says part number? It's kind of long. See, that's my file. I'm just going to delete CAD 241 here. And I'm hoping that should fit. Maybe I'll abbreviate part PT. That should fit. Down here where it says designer, put your name. If you were doing this, engineer, your name, and then the authority is my name, Mr. Morris. So in the real world for this class, you're the designer, you're the engineer. Mr. Morris is the authority. If you want to, in other words, I have to approve your drawing before you were, let's say you were going to make a 3D printed part on our 3D printers. I want to look at the part before you send it to the printer. Go to status, check by you, put your name. This is your name. Check on the date, and then approved by you as well. Check on the date, and then you're not going to make it till Mr. Morris approves it. So put my name and check on the date here. Apply, close. All right, see how it filled out the title block? So it's not too bad. I'm on a file, select the save button. Now I'm going to show you how to plot this so that you can turn it in. You're not doing this one. This is not a homework. This is supplementary only for you to watch. But if you were going to plot this out to submit this, you would go to File and Export as a PDF. And you can make it a PDF just by, it's already says CAD 241 supplementary part PDF. Save. All right. So file, save as. It's in the document directory as a PDF. So I'm going to go into my document directory. And there's the PDF. I'll open it up so you can see what it looks like. This is what you would submit to me. You would not submit your IDW or your IPT file. You would submit this to me. Okay, now you could also send this part to someone who does not have CAD, but you can send a PDF to them and they can open it up and look at it. Okay. All right, so this completes this video. Let me close this out and close this out. And I'm going to file, save this one more time. So we have our part file and we have our drawing. Okay. Let me show you one other thing. If I go back to my part file, let's say I wanted to save this as a picture. Go to File, Export, and go to Image. And I don't want a bitmap. I like to use PNG and select Save. And if I go back to my Documents folder again, here's the picture. So sometimes I'll ask you to submit the picture as well. Okay, so that's the picture and the drawing. Picture of your 3D part and your drawing of your, showing all the dimensions and so forth. I hope you have a good day. I hope you have a good week. Please look at all the videos I'm going to post, read all the materials, and I will see you next week. Have a good one. Take care.